Round 15 takes us to a tricky track holding quite the challenge for drivers. Tonight, Yas Marina will be full of surprises. Good evening, everyone. I'm here along with RC Action for the F1 series at Yas Marina. We only have a few more rounds after this, so the battle for the championship is definitely heating up at Ferrari. He's got a nice lead, RC.
It's a great time to have a great lead. It's near the end, but he cannot afford to make any more mess ups. We've seen him get in situations where he has to come from the back, but he needs to tighten that down and really focus on these next 3 races.
All right, well, heading out into tonight, what sectors or what turns do you think are going to be an issue?
Well, since the changes to this track, it's really just a routine lap. I mean, to me, as far as when I'm out there on the racetrack frozen, it's about as easy as racing Talladega. So, as long as you just don't spin it coming out of the corners, trying to get too aggressive off the corners, I think you'll be fine. However, the S's in Sector 1, make sure you don't run over those curbs a little too much. Those 2 things, that's pretty much it, and you got it.
Yeah, this track is so much easier than when it was a few years ago since the changes have been made. It's so much fun out here. I really think the drivers are going to have a great night, but it is still quite challenging, especially in Sector 3. You have a chicane that can mess up some of these drivers that is in Sector 2, so that could be an issue. And then I've heard a couple of corners in Sector 3 are kind of tripping some of these drivers up if you don't hit it correctly. So we'll have to keep our eye on those spots, but we do have a few new drivers tonight. Maddie Joyfan is one of them, and Fire Hamlin, another one. We also have some drivers back, Polish Hammer, and also Maverick. So it's great to have these guys. And Fallout Man, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. I see you're out here for Maddie, so a lot of luck to her. Great to have her out here tonight. Jacob, they do, they are obviously in practice and qualifying right now, so 15 minutes left on the clock. We'll see what these guys can do. A lot of drivers still in pits.
And it's always great to see exactly how these drivers are going to come out. Usually in a big long session, I usually try to go out with the least amount of cars. Usually in the first few minutes, pretty much everybody goes out, and we're starting to see more and more drivers leave pits right now. But I'm always been, let the first few drivers go, get some traction into the racetrack before I go out there and I put down a tire.
I feel it. Yeah, absolutely. You don't want a lot of drivers out there that can possibly mess with your lap. Sober David had a fantastic lap, a 123.6. Kerr quickly goes to the top of the board with a 122.9. We had some 122s in practice. Polish was the fastest that put one of the laps out there. A 122.7. Kerr had a 122.9 also in practice. And Mayer was third on the board with a 123.1, which is exactly what Z46 got. And I just got a message from Z saying he may not be too fast tonight. He's going to be a little bit off pace, so we'll see how that goes with him.
Well, I mean, a lot of drivers say that, but then they end up going for the wins. So I'm keeping my eye on you. You're not going to fool me that easy.
Right. I feel like a lot of these drivers, they say that and then they're so fast. But Z, he has run into some crazy issues, some penalties, or just some different issues that keep him from getting that win. So hopefully his race will go smoothly tonight. Polish goes to the top of the board with a 122.7, which is exactly what he got in practice. So right on par with his time in practice. We'll see if he can improve on that just a little bit. But we did have a few drivers in the 122s, 123s, and a lot in the 124s. So we'll see how this pans out here by the time qualifying is over.
got a few drivers that haven't made a lap yet. I'm looking at JC, what type of impact he's going to have. But when you look at everybody else, okay, well, the majority of everybody's already ran, and you've got a 122.720 on the top here by Polish. I mean, who are you going to consider to beat that? I mean, Ferrari, that's the easiest answer. I mean, Kerr, I mean, he put down a 22.915, but can any of those come back? I don't know quite yet. So we might already have it. I don't like speaking early, Frozen, but sometimes that's just a necessary.
We'll find out. We still have a couple of drivers who have yet to put a time down, but as you guys know, these races are so very close, and the amount of 123s that we have, it just to me seems like we're going to have a very, very tight race, which has definitely helped make this happen with the changes that they have had on this track. But I love this track at night. It is absolutely stunning. All the lights and all the glitz that they have around the track is a very cool track to race at night. So definitely a fun addition, especially after those changes were made.
Obviously, the biggest part of the racetrack as far as the scenery aspect goes is the part of the track where you drive under a hotel. So, you know, always at F1, the scenery is always beautiful. But to one point here is this is the last night race. So if you're faster on these night races that we've had, this is your last shot to make a big push. So hopefully some of these drivers can make it shine out here. That doesn't necessarily do it during day races that we've seen in the past few weeks. So hopefully we get a lot more variety tonight.
Absolutely. Evan, I see you out there. Jacob, he says he's downloading F123. Oh, wow. I thought you've already had that downloaded. So yeah, that's cool. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. 10 minutes left in qualifying. Polish still up there. Z46, who says he's going to be off pace, is very much on pace and almost tied with our leader, Polish Hammer. So very close in time. And Kerr, who won 2 weeks ago at Silverstone, currently sitting P3 on the board. We only have 2 races left after tonight. It's going to be Austria, and we're going to end it at Brazil.
Great tracks, and of course, I'm always going to say it. I love Austria. I mean, the track is just phenomenal. Red Bull Ring, and just how short the track is, and the speeds that it can get to. I mean, it's not the fastest, but it's not the slowest either. So that track is always one that I love to watch, and it'll be great to see these drivers get on there next week and then go on that track. It's going to be beautiful.
I agree. A lot of drivers out here tonight. 17 are set to grid here. Man, it's going to be wild. I think, again, I will say if we can get past turn 1, lap 1, these guys are going to get spread out just a little bit, and I think we're going to have a smooth race. But man, oh man, it's going to be a wild one, especially in Sector 3 once these guys are starting off. But we're going to have some tight racing, all those 123s, and a lot of 122s. We have the top 5 drivers in the 22s at 122.6 for Ferrari Nut.
The fastest. I was expecting a little more speed out of Ferrari, so good thing that he's still doing his thing. Now the question is, can Polish or Kerr or even 46 come back and try to beat that time?
Yeah, you have 3 drivers with a 122.7, so anything can happen. I mean, they're so extremely tight on time. I think they can possibly squeeze out another 10th or so, but practice times were all in the 7s for the fastest. We'll see if they can't squeeze out any more time, but Ferrari is already faster than what we've seen. And you've talked about the history of, you know, going back to these tracks previously and the times compared, and it's always been faster this season. I don't even know the last time that we've been here at Yas Marina. It's been, if at all, ever, it's been a long time.
think it's way before you streamed of Frozen since we've been here, if ever. I mean,
Right.
it's been a while, but I've got some stats for you, Frozen. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's hear it.
All right. Yas Marina Circuit, a 16 turn track now. We got a lap time in real life. Or lap time is a 1:26.103, and that was in 2021 in that battle between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. Max set the fastest lap, so let's see if we beat that today. Time loss 20 seconds under green lap conditions. Safety car and virtual safety car, we're looking at a measly 13 seconds, so a whole lot more of a difference. We're looking at possible strategies of medium from lap 1 to 14, and then on the hards from 14 to 29. Second strategy is softs from 1 to 9, mediums from 9 to 19, and mediums 9 to 29. And of course, we always have our little special flair with some of the drivers, so who knows what we're going to get tonight for some of those drivers. But the tire degradation, we're looking at 11 seconds off the soft tires compared to the 9 on the mediums and 6 to the hards. So really anything can be up in play here, Frozen, especially with what we've seen throughout the season. So everybody, let's go out, let's set a lap, let's set a record, and let's make it one heck of a race.
All right. Well, I have a question for you. Do you think we're going to see a lot of penalties tonight for drivers? We've seen quite a few races where the winner has been chosen just based on the driver ahead of him losing on penalties. Will that be a story tonight?
It's highly possible, only for the matter of 2 areas. Coming up into the S section after turn 1. That you can kind of get a little disoriented from time to time, especially when you have someone ahead of you and you're trying to really push it. The second spot is in that sector 3. Once you hit the couple right-hand turns, left-hand turn down under the hotel, and then back up towards the straightaway. Those you're going to have to keep it nice and tight, because you can get a little too far off the tracks. That's going to happen. That's where I'm looking at for a penalty for running off the racetrack.
I agree. I think those are some tricky spots that can cause some penalties. And take a look at this. The guy who says that he's going to be off pace tonight goes straight to the top of the board, a 1:22.552. Hopefully he can maintain that consistency and race and have a great strategy and keep it clean. Hopefully. Every time I say that someone has a chance at a win or this could be their night, I feel like I jinx him. So I'm not going to say it. I'm just not going to. But yeah, we'll see if he has that consistent night, and hopefully we'll see him in the booth after.
Yeah, hopefully you can break that spell, but don't want to jump to that. But I'm just curious. I mean, Frozen, who do you think is going to have the best night tonight with the way this track is?
The best lap tonight? You were lagging a little bit. Did you say the best lap?
Best chance to win the race tonight, depending on
man, I think as far as who's got the best chance, I mean, we all know Ferrari Nut is extremely fast. Polish seems very confident. I mean, he was very happy that he was able to make it out here tonight. I think he's got a really good shot. So, you know, I'm going to have to say it's going to be between Ferrari Nut and Polish Hammer. He's coming out here with that confidence, and we'll see if that takes him to the finish line first.
I think we're going to see a big shift as far as Williams drivers. I think they're really going to end up locking the Constructors' Championship down because, well, there's only one Ferrari Nut driver. So, with that said, I'm pretty confident that Ferrari is going to win the Drivers' Championship at this point. Now, the only person that he has to worry about is Mayer. He had good races, but how many wins does he have this season, Frozen?
How many races has he won? Mayer has won 3 races. Ferrari has won 6 races. So Ferrari does have 3 more wins. Ferrari Nut has 285 points going into tonight, while Mayor of Bag City has 225. Polish Hammer is tied with Kerr with 176 points. So that battle right there is extremely tight, and that's with Polish missing a couple of races even.
I mean, we could probably end up calling it by the end of next week, to be honest with you. Depends on how it goes today and at the end of Austria. So, of course, it's all hypotheticals for me tonight, but it's just something always to keep an eye on. I think that as far as the constructors title, it will be by the end of Brazil that we could call it. And I always hate calling it early or, stuff like that. I just hate doing that. But like I said, we might have a driver's champion by the end of Austria. So it's all got to come together. Not like it's going to, or it might not, or, whatever. But we're wrapping it up. As much as it sucks, it's wrapping up. So it's just everybody go at it.
Everybody go at it, see what they can do. And I've talked to Mayor about this a couple of times, and he says, I know Ferrari is a fast driver. I know he's probably got this in the bag. He's like, I'm proud of the way I've performed this season. I have a championship from last season. He says he's good. No matter how this turns out, he's had fun, and he's proud of the way he's ran this year. So you can't be mad about that, and we'll see what happens with Ferrari Nut. Anything can. We've seen it so many times where something happens with Ferrari Nut, and he doesn't have as many wins as I think he was expecting. So we'll see how that turns out tonight. But Polish, a 122.3, absolutely flying out there. Z46, his teammate for Williams, a 122.5. Ferrari Nut, a 122.6, sitting P3. Mayor of Bag City, a 122.7. Kerr, 122.9. So 5 drivers in those 22s. These guys are just so extremely fast. They're doing a great job. Jacob, thank you so much for the sub. 13 months. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, JC moving up to a 123.4, and we have just under 3 minutes in qualifying for these drivers who have not finished their lap. It looks like Maverick, he is set in his time. J-Mac, Shames, Slurp, and Maddie Joyfan, who has not put out a lap, along with Slurp and Dion. So I think Maddie, the newcomer for tonight, one of them is going to start in the back here.
Well, I would like to see everything, but EA had to pull an EA and kick me out of the session.
Yeah, I'll tell you, your voice was lagging pretty bad. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but we'll get you back in here. All right, there is an invite for you. Ferrari Nut goes to the top of the board, a 122.2. So these guys are just absolutely hopping over each other in times, and Ferrari Nut has completed his lap. Polish Hammer has not just yet. So we'll see him finish around the final 2 corners, see what he can do. Kerr also has not finished, along with JC, Sky. And once they do, that should be good to go. Maverick, I know we were talking about you. You were back tonight. Great to have you back. I know you kept saying that you were going to be back, and then I'm not sure what happened with you. But great to have you. Look at those times.
I just think that was a part of the EA server, because that happened on F124 too. So I think it's just coming down to EA and its lovely system that works. You can't see me right now, but I'm doing air quotes.
I don't blame you. Ferrari Nut says the lap was about perfect, could not have asked for a better qualifying lap. So a very confident Ferrari Nut in his quali lap, just a 10th ahead of P2. So he will start on pole. A great job for Ferrari Nut. He's a driver who's got a lot of confidence, Polish Hammer will start beside him. 122.3, his teammate Z46 with a 122.4 in third. Mayer in fourth. Kerr in fifth. Justin in sixth. In seventh, we have Jacob. Eighth is JCX. Ninth is Bloomy. 10th is Sky. And then Sober David in 11th. Maverick 12th. Fire Hamlin in 13th. And J-Mac Attack 14th. We'll see if we can't get on to the next one here. We have quite a few drivers tonight. You love to see it. After J-Mac, we have Oh No It's Shames in 15th. Slurp 16th. Dion 17th. And Maddie Joy fan in 18th. All right, formation lap will be underway here at Yas Marina. A beautiful night to have a race here for round 15. Love the scenery, and as RC says, all these tracks just have beautiful scenery. But Yas Marina, it goes way back for me in the IndyCar League. And I'm kind of curious, I'll have to ask Dion, when's the last time we ran here, if ever, in the F1 series? I'm sure we have. I would think so.
For all the drivers that are getting ready for a race, and for those who haven't done F1, being at this point right now, you're looking at your strategies and all this stuff. So much can happen within the first few inches of your car leaving the grid. Either if it being on the formation lap or when the lights go out. It's always a good nervous feeling, Frozen, when you're on that grid, because you're going to have to expect, okay, what is this driver going to do? What is that driver going to do? And if they do this, how am I going to do this? So the feeling of, yeah, you know, NASCAR, you're driving around too wide, so on and so forth. You still kind of get that feeling. But from going from 0 to 60 and plus, it's a whole different feeling, because you really get the sense of, okay, we're really going on, we're punching it, trying not to spin the tires out, and then also trying to figure out all this other stuff. It's just way more of thinking, and then continue to drive your line, but also worrying about other it's just a lot of complexity. I like complexity when it comes to racing, Frozen. That's just one of the things I love about F1, and I'm going to keep saying it because it just brings such different stuff to racing from time to time. And we'll see how F1 24 comes out too with next season. But you just cannot, or I can't get enough of Formula One. So I'm definitely one of those people, Frozen, who are in the big US F1 market as it is. But let's see what we can do tonight, as I see that we got some hards on that AlphaTauri.
Yeah, you know, we always there's only one driver on soft tire compound. That's going to be Polish. The rest of these guys will be on hards and mediums, so I'm a little shocked that Polish chose to go this route in strategy, but we'll see how it plays out for him. But yeah, we have pretty much sections of 3 for medium tire compound throughout the field, so that's kind of funny to see. Repeat, I see you out there. Fallout Man still rooting for Mads. I hope you guys are having a great night. Fireball Hamlin says, would have been 6 if I didn't lose it in Sector 3. All right, you see these drivers gritting up, getting ready for the lights to go out here at Yas Marina. It's been such a great season, a fun one. We've had a few different winners. I think about 5 different winners, 5 or 6. So I would love to see another new winner here tonight. We'll see what happens. All right, Lights are up and they are getting ready to go out. Here we go. Ferrari not with a great start, and you can see them 2 and 3 wide all the way through. The top 3 drivers, a little bit of contact as they head through the first corner, but they are off and running, and man, what a start for these guys.
Ready. I mean, we got a 2 wide for the lead already. As Polish and those soft tires get the advantage on that AlphaTauri.
Yeah, Ferrari not is in a Williams sandwich right now. Polish out in the lead, Ferrari in second. Mayer
coming out of the turn.
Man, not a great start for him. Unfortunately, he is back in 18th, 16 seconds behind. Bloomy's going to be in 17th. Let's take a look. We have, oh no, it's Shames in quite the battle here. It's very packed in the back of the field here as these guys are battling for position. Maddie goes up to 13th. Great start for her. This is her first race here in the F1 series, so great to see her out here. Sober David in 12th. Slurp down to 11th. I should say up to 11th because he started in the back. Maverick, he's going to round out the top 10 there.
The first 4 got off and just whizzing by and just saying goodbye rest of the field. We don't need you to have a great race because Jacob's here in 5th and he's got the entire pack right behind him, one after the other, up until David gets there. But unfortunately, Bloomy didn't just get a bad... Okay, well, Frozen, we got a bunch of people pitting already. Maddie,
Incident
Slurp,
had to have happened.
Keon and Mayer.
Not quite sure what happened with these guys, but no caution or anything. Do you think it's a strategy call, or I would assume something had to have happened that these guys have to go in and perhaps repair some damage?
Seeing wings put on everybody, so there had to be that incident with Bloomy had to have caused some more damage to other cars than what I could have seen. But Mayer, he's there on 14th. He's going to have to make up a lot of places throughout this 29 laps if he's going to try to make a dent in that drivers' championship.
Polish Hammer out to a great start. And I'll tell you what, Ferrari Nut has fallen back a bit, and he's got Z46 in 3rd. Just over a second behind, who was battling it out with Kerr. Kerr had made a move over him, but Z has since taken that spot back. Fire Hamlin, another newcomer for tonight, up to P5, doing a great job, and Polish Hammer just putting out fastest lap after fastest lap. And we're only on lap 3, so definitely a strong one tonight. We'll see what happens.
Everybody's pretty much well in line at this point. You're looking at Hamlin, Jacob, JC. You got your 3 car stack there as we usually see. Leaf is just staying in there, keeping an eye on things. You know, he's always sitting back there waiting until the other drivers mess up and then he makes a move. Skyland, he's doing really good in there in the points in 2nd place. I would like to see him be able to take that Ferrari and push it up the leaderboards by the end of the season. David right on top of him in that Ferrari engine Haas machine. So let's see if he can make any moves out of that. Now for Romeo of Maverick. He's kind of there, kind of a little bit off. But that car has got the benefit of having those other drivers come into pits, so let's see how long he's going to be out there for before he gets past Vinny Sort. If he gets past at all, who knows? Shame's out there. Mayer, of course, we know about the last few of them. They're frozen and the incident there. But everything is going to the way it usually is. A pack here, a pack here, a pack here. Let's see if some of these drivers can't catch up, and let's make a big, long train line.
Sober David, 0.3 behind Sky, who's just 0.5 behind Leave Justin. So this is quite a close battle. But even ahead of that, we have JC, who is directly on top of his teammate. So these guys are extremely close for McLaren, and they were right on the heels of Fire Hamlin. Meanwhile, Slurp gets a 125.3, so he is making some time up over some earlier incidents. We'll see where he ends up. But man, oh man, Leaf Justin gets passed by Maverick right there. His first race with us in several races. So doing a great job so far.
David, he's got 3 races left frozen, and he's trying to make everything count here as he got around Skyland. Now his next objective is to hold that line, hold that position, and catch up to those McLarens, which ain't an easy task. So he needs to really dig down, partially worry about that car behind him, but also worry about gaining on those cars ahead. He seems like he's got a really fast car tonight, Frozen, so let's keep an eye on him tonight.
Absolutely. I've seen something interesting here. Ferrari Nut, he lost a spot to Z46, so I know he was saying he was confident in his time, and his qualifying time was absolutely perfect. I'm just kind of curious what's going on with him as he is falling back, and he's currently right on the heels of Z46, possibly battling once again for that second position, but I don't know, there could be a battle brewing for the lead here tonight. It may not just be handed over to Ferrari Nut so easily as he thought, but he's gaining on Polish pretty quick.
Well, immediately what I'm looking at is the tires. Obviously, the hards are the slowest. But there's only 2 DRS zones instead of 3. When they redone everything, it used to be a DRS zone, if my memory serves me correctly, on the front stretch, and now that's no longer there. So maybe it was just a tactical move. I didn't see it. I was over on David at the time, but maybe it was more of a tires game of getting past Ferrari, or Ferrari lost it there at the last turn. But it's Ferrari. He's always going to be in the hunt. We all know this. So to see that he's back up in second, you know, was he really worried about losing it? I don't think so.
Apparently not. And Maddie says that the AI will not let her take control. So first race is off to a great start. Crashed twice and can't actually race. Oh, Maddie, I'm so sorry to hear that. It's weird because your car is not ghosted out. It's as if you do have control, but man, what a bummer to see. I was so excited to see you out here tonight. Hopefully, I don't know if you gave up, but if you haven't, hopefully we can get you back in. Polish Hammer still out in first, leading the field, but he's got Ferrari Nut 0.3 back. And that is quickly closing for the gap. We'll see what happens here, but man, take a look. He's going to go for the lead right here underneath Polish Hammer. Gets it done. We'll see if he is able to hold Polish off. I know Polish is excited to be here tonight after not being able to race for a few. Making a comeback. See if he can't make a comeback into the lead.
Starting to wonder, those soft tires are starting to wear off a little more. I don't think he was pushing the car too much, but he definitely does not want to try to fall off the pace. Because if I'm 46, I'm going to be like, hey, are your tires falling off? Because I need to get past you now.
Yeah,
So,
we've seen instances of those two battling for position and running into a little bit of trouble from it. So that's an interesting point.
Yeah, you don't want to hurt your teammate as much as you want to race your teammate for those points. But they're going to have to make up their mind here on what they're going to do.
I know that these guys are very competitive. I know Polish really wants a solid finish here. J-Mac with his first penalty, the first penalty of the night, actually. So I think we're going to see a few more of those, but Z46 going to go on the inside of Polish, going to make that pass complete. So close, a little bit of contact. Polish has to hold on to it, but they are still off and running, and Ferrari Nut is starting to get away.
Side racing, it can be a pain, can it? Because that's really hurting these two Williams cars. I mean, at the end of the day, yes, you want to get second place points, but you also got to get that, hey, Ferrari that's going to take over here. We might want to clean up our act here and try to catch him. So hopefully they can get it sorted out, because at the end of the day, yeah, second and third is great, as we got someone coming into the pits, and it should be Polish.
Polish, yeah, those soft tires. Ooh, a close happening right here with Fire Hammond and Jacob and JC. Fire Hamlin, I'm not sure if he got loose or didn't take the turn properly, but man, oh man, that was almost disastrous. But JC gains a spot, and Jacob is going to be in 6th, Fire Hamlin in 7th. Or, I mean, Fire Hamlin in 5th, I should say.
Yeah, Hamlin actually got 5th going into turn 1 there, which is a little bit of a risky move. It's not as risky as some of the other tracks, but he got that done.
Sober David sitting about 0.5 behind Skyland, so just so many battles throughout the field. Anything can change at any moment. Unable to make that pass, but he's got quite a few cars up ahead since that incident happened. You see Sky, Jacob, Fire Hamlin, and up there a ways is going to be JC, so a crowded pack up here.
Yeah, and all that battling between those 3 cars ahead of the Skyland David battle is actually helping these 2 out, because now they're actually catching up. And honestly, if you're going to keep battling, I mean, it makes great TV, but still, you gotta have to try to get away from people as much as you want DRS and all that stuff. Sometimes being by yourself in a certain situation is probably even better than being around other people. So it just depends on your situation. So look, they're both Ferrari engines and they're both racing. Good. Let's try to get even more positions. Let those 3 ahead of you battle, and then let's battle afterwards. Until then, let's try to get up there and catch them.
Polish Hammer currently sitting P11 after going in from those soft tires. He is currently directly behind J Mac Attack, trying to make the pass. He's going to go side by side with him. We'll see if he can't complete that. Unable to do so just yet, but take a look. Mayor of Bag City, we see him 6 seconds back from P12. That's going to be Maverick up there. He did not have a great start. Currently up to 13th, but he still has a way to go. Not the start he wanted, but I'm still a little surprised about Polish and that soft tire compound. I hope it pays off for him, but he was the only one on that strategy. And we always see a couple, RC, every week that go on those softs. And I'm not sure that it always works out all the time.
It's always really a gamble with the softs, because yes, they do give away easy, but then again, this is what I usually think when I come into the races is, hey, I'm sitting here in 10th. What do I really have to lose? Or am I sitting here in 14th in the race? What do I have to lose? Because, well, if I'm 14th, I'm not in the points as it is at the start of this race, so why not take the soft and take a charge? But when it comes to Polish, he is a unique individual, so it doesn't surprise me if he went there.
Biggest mover of the night is going to be Fire Hamlin, and we're currently on board with him. He is right behind Jacob, and we saw these guys battling earlier on. So, yeah, here we go, side by side into that corner there, right into the chicane. He is able to make that pass, but man, he's had a couple of run-ins with these drivers already. Some close quarter racing, up 8 positions now, and JC is going to be up ahead of him about almost 2 seconds.
That last right-hander they made during that pass frozen, there was a wreck in 2018 between one of the Haas cars and Nico Hulkenberg, which was in a Renault, now Alpine. That was the first year that the halos were installed on the cars, and he was upside down.
Oh,
so
wow.
A little history there for you on that turn. They were going down side, and they just touched tires just a little too much, and one car ended up on its top. So again, Halos, great addition to racing.
Absolutely. It's so dangerous to be in these cars. They're so fast, and any contact between tires can be absolutely devastating as far as you trying to get out of it safely. So it's just something that these drivers always have in the back of their mind. It's easy to damage those wings and wreck once you make contact. So interesting to see all the safety protocols that are taken to help with the safety every year, and that is definitely one of them. And you see it in all the sports. They just try and make it as safe as possible, and it's great to see.
We almost about had another incident with Polish and Sober there. Almost about recreated that little moment. but they're off and running. Unfortunately for Skyland, he got in a bad situation where DRS was available to the two drivers behind, and he lost those positions. So, but he can make it up here. Now, Polish has already got past these two. These two can follow in the slipstream if they can keep up long enough to try to get to that McLaren that's coming up. Ooh.
This guy got a little loose coming out of that exit there. It cost him a little bit of time, and we now have 4 drivers with a penalty, 3-second penalty for these guys. I think we're going to see a few more. We've talked about it earlier. It's definitely, there are some spots where penalties can be incurred pretty easily. Polish Hammer, though, up to P7. Sober David having a solid night, along with Skyland, 8th and 9th. J-Mac Attack in 10th, Justin in 11th. And man, always such a huge battle throughout the field with these drivers. And Polish is going to make his way past Jacob right there. So we'll see him make up another spot.
Just cutting through the competition like knife and hot butter. Polish is getting it done. Now, I will say this. These 4 penalties that we have came at the exact same spots that I mentioned earlier. Around the hotel section and through the S's. And my concern right now, and I've seen it a couple of times when we come through, is Jacob has been running wide at the end of turn 1. So I don't know if that's just a driver thing he's doing, trying to get out of the way of a driver or something. I don't know. But I think that car's starting to give away with him on those tires, and it's going to push him out. Now, if he does it again, it's going to be a penalty for sure. So we might be looking at a 5th driver penalty.
Be interesting to see. And Slurp is another driver that's on those soft tire compound. Another driver goes into the pits. We'll see what happens and where he comes out. But man, off and running still, lap 13 of 29. Polish Hammer up to 4th, Fire Hamlin in 5th, Jacob in 6th, and JC gonna be moving through the field down below as he makes his way out from pits.
I'm looking at all the ERS saves. Right now, 46 and Ferrari nut seems, well, nope, I take that back. Maddie's got the most with the 100. But you're looking at 82% save with the top 2 drivers. ERS is going to be a huge thing. I mean, when you don't have the DRS, you always have your ERS to compensate. And harvesting that is a whole lot harder in this game than it is in F1 24. So when that comes around, in my opinion, as a driver, I'd be a whole lot more relieved that that's going to happen. So, only a few more races this season until we hop over there, or a few more races until we hop over on 24. So, you got to stick it out a little more. And just by that milli-inch, Frozen, that's how much he got penalized for. Oh lordy, oh lordy. The track limits sometimes in the games can be just a little bit off, and that can be so annoying for a driver. That the fact that one little bit of the track where the actual racers will race and not get penalized, in the game you can get penalized. I'm ranting now.
Slurp makes his way into the pits. We saw him on the soft tire compound. We'll see what he takes, but a lot of movement. He comes out on medium, and we do have a safety car. So something big happened right here. Fire Hamlin and Pit, Slurp, Maverick, Shames, Bloomy, all on pit road. J-Mac drive-through penalty,
J-Mac
speeding
with
under
another
safety
penalty.
car. So the penalties are just stacking up for him. He does have a drive-through, so we'll see when he goes ahead and takes that one.
Well, Frozen, someone's wing exploded, and I'm trying to find... Oh, I found our culprit. It's actually Leaf Justin. He's missing a wing here, Frozen.
I thought
That's
it was
why
going
we
to
have
be
a safety
Dion.
car.
All right. I saw Dion fall there. Yeah, Justin missing that wing completely, so we're going to have to see him go in for that repair as we are under that safety car. Lap 14 of 29. Maddie, if you're still out there, let me know if you were able to get into the race, or is the AI still hanging out for you?
And, you know, what sucks for the drivers who pitted during that green flag session is now like, well, now there's a safety car. Now it's reduced. So I pitted on the green flag for nothing, but you can never predict a safety car. So that's always irritating when you go in right before a safety car comes out and you pit and you lose all that time only for the safety car to come out. It always fights.
Taking a
But
look
we'll see a new
at
wing.
yeah, taking a look at the pit exit. It's a very interesting pit exit here, going underneath and through those corners. Pretty cool to see,
Yeah.
but Ferrari not still leading the field here. Z46 in second, Kerr in third. Polish Hammer makes his way back up to fourth. This is, I think, what he kind of needs to get back in the game here. Everyone gathered back together. Jacob in fifth, Sober David in sixth, JC in seventh, Sky in eighth, Fire Hamlin in ninth, and Slurp is going to round out your top 10.
Penalty-wise, we got a 5-second penalty for Skyland, a 3-second for Hamlin, a 3-second for Slurp, a 3-second for Bloomy, and J-Mac, well, he's gotten a couple of penalties, including a drive-through for speeding under safety car.
So unfortunate to see. I'm curious how they will stack up with the penalties. Hopefully, we won't see any more penalties, but I think we both know that that probably will not be the case. I mean, we know the track limits can be a little sneaky on you, and there's a fine line between in limits and out. So we'll see what happens for these drivers. But do you think anyone's going to be able to pass up Ferrari Nut as we go back to racing? Or do you think this is his race tonight?
Well, it's going to come down to where we're all at. And right now, as far as tires concerned, everyone's pretty much on an equal playing field, as Dion just got a 3-second penalty. And so, with that said, I'm sitting here, I'm looking, okay, Ferrari's on mediums, 46 is on hards, which he can go longer than Ferrari, even though he's not going to have enough speed. Kerr's got the mediums, Polish got the mediums. Then I got to think, well, Polish has already went to the pits twice now. And Kerr and Ferrari Nuts only went once, and we're 16 laps in. So there's a couple of different variances that could come into play. So I think it's possible. Just there's some monkey wrenches in there that's going to prevent me from saying completely yes or completely no.
Kind of wondering if Z46 maybe said that he wasn't going to do as good tonight to hopefully do better than expected, because he is looking strong out here. I'm going to knock on some wood as to not completely jinx him, but he is looking very solid out there.
He's going to start with this safety car and it ending, because you're going to have to get a great jump. Of course, you cannot pass until the timing line, which turns out to be the finish line. So, getting a great jump in Formula One is very crucial. Very crucial. If you don't, either you can be looking at losing positions, or if you get a good one,
Mr. Met
you can
20
gain
underscore
position,
just
or you can
resubbed
be
for 35 months.
at wherever you're
Frozen
at.
one
You can be
height,
second,
frozen
you
one
stay
height.
second, and you have to wait for the car ahead of you to mess up themselves. So every inch of Formula One is very crucial. So even if it's going into pits, going, you know, a little wide in corners, no matter what, every little bit and piece is very crucial on how your race is going to end once that checkered flag waves.
Absolutely. I mean, it's so true. Every little thing that you do could have a determining factor on whether you win the race or what position you're going to grab. So you have to be absolutely on it every single time. We'll see how they come back from safety car. It's lap 17 of 29. I think they should be good to go this time around. We do, it looks like, have perhaps Dion. Yeah, here it comes out of pit road. So we'll see if these guys can't make their way up. Sky coming out and Fire Hamlin. They'll make their way back up to the field. And Mr. Med, thank you so much for the sub. I really appreciate it. 35 months. That is absolutely crazy. Fella says, is Mads back? It looks like she's coming back. I hope she is. I've asked if she is. She hasn't answered. So I hope that means she is back in the car.
I can guarantee you one thing. Once the safety car goes in, everybody can make it from here on out. I mean, everyone's on mediums and hards. So if you're 46, or you're Jacob or David or JC, you better hope that those mediums wear out really quickly as we get the safety car coming in this lap. You're going to have to hope that happens, because the quicker those tires run out, the faster you're going to be. So hopefully that ain't a 10-second gap by the time that medium set of tires have worn off. So I think there's going to be a small handicap for the ones on the hard tires compared to the mediums, just for that reason. There's 17 lap 17 out of 29. Right now, hards are the biggest gamble that we've got going on right here.
See how it turns out, but these guys have a couple of more corners and then we will go back to green. But man, oh man, you can see these guys trying to warm those tires up, trying to get the grip in them. We'll see how the start goes. Ferrari Nut, he's going to be the one to guide us back, and Z46, he's going to have to be on top of it as we head to green. And here we go. Back to green once again, and Z does a great job on the restart. So does Curb, as Z goes completely off track. And as soon as I say he's got a great start, it turns awful really quick, which allows Ferrari Nut to get away.
I don't know if those tires got warm enough for turn one or not, but he definitely got a little fish telly coming off of those curbs. Definitely a dangerous curb going off of turn one, but Kerr takes the advantage and cuts into P2.
Yeah, he's about a second behind Ferrari Nut. Polish sits in third. Z46 falls back to P4. Sober David, he was up in fifth, fell back to sixth as Slurp makes his way on through. But man, a crowded field once again. You see Jacob, who is making a move over Sober David side by side. Let's take a look as they head into this corner. Extremely close racing. Polish Hammer overtakes Kerr for second place. Kerr falls to third. So much movement throughout the field.
Yeah, and now they're getting really a little dicey back here between David and Jacob. They're trying to go too wide through that section. Luckily, they filtered all that out. But Slurp got the advantage. They battled, they slowed each other down, Frozen. Now there's a gap there as Ferrari hits a 1:25.023, which that beats the absolutely fastest lap in IRL.
McLaren's out here on top of each other. You see Mayor of Bag City directly behind them. So any one of these drivers can take over another position very, very quickly. But Sober David, he's got a lot of pressure on him right behind. These guys are definitely going to pressure him, try to make him make a mistake so they make him their way on through. But he sits, he's sixth. Slurp is up ahead in fifth. Jacob and his teammate JC in McLaren 7th and 8th.
Now, what that one stretch of that one straightaway taught me was there is no DRS until we come to the to the finish line this lap. Now, what it did tell me is David has a more powerful car and those McLarens behind him. So I got to see the gap. So if he gets that second gap frozen, he's pretty much as well as gone from those McLarens. Because if he is that much faster than those McLarens, I don't think those McLarens are going to have too much to keep up with that Ferrari engine in that Haas machine.
A lot of movement back here with Mayer, JC, and Jacob. Mayer took a turn very, very wide, and that's going to be out of bounds as far as track limits go. And you see, I do believe that was Maverick there that took that extremely wide. So these guys are just trying to pull every inch from this track that they can to maintain that momentum coming off the exits, going too wide. Man, that was almost a collision right there, but luckily they held it off. And they're still on and moving, but man, oh man, it is getting so extremely tight. And take a look at this battle for the lead. Polish Hammer has caught up almost to Ferrari's back bumper, so he's definitely closing that gap to Ferrari.
Something else, and again, something that I've been also looking at. If David can keep that within 6 seconds of Slurp, that's a free position. So that's another thing that David's going to have to keep up with, is trying to stay within that 6-second mark. But again, the first couple of drivers, they'll get away, they'll make their own little group, and then you'll have these here's and there's, as Mayor of Bag City's day has just gotten worse with a 3-second penalty.
Yeah, a lot of these penalties are just adding up, and Leaf Justin takes over that 9th spot. Mayer falls back to 10th, so not a great start or race for Mayor of Bag City as he makes his way into pit lane. Gonna perhaps have to repair some damage, not what he wants to see at all, but Sober David, I'm loving what I'm seeing from him these past few races. I mean, just improvements. I know he's been working really hard at meeting his goals and trying to get as good a position that he can. And man, these races are just turning out so solid for him.
So far, just really great racing as far as these packs go. I mean, they're starting to get a little antsy frozen because they're going in too wide in places where they really shouldn't, because they know these laps are winding down as Polish makes a pass.
Yeah,
going
what
into
a
that
pass.
long sweeping rider.
Great move from Polish. She did a great job there. Maddie says it's still not letting her take over. John, what's up? Happy Wednesday. I hope you're doing great, but what a great move for Polish. He takes the lead over Ferrari Nut in second. We do have a caution in Sector 3. Still off and running, lap 21 of 29. And we're getting ready to head to 22.
Each lap just winding down. So you're going to have to make your move eventually. I think the top 4 is going to be the top 4. Pending is that Sober David Slurp ordeal, seeing how that comes out. Right now, it looks like it's about a 4-second gap between those two. So with 22 on lap 22, he's going to need to close that down a little bit, just in case that Red Bull starts to gain a little bit on him. Polish goes back down to second.
Another change in position. I don't know. I feel like this race is going to come down to the wire. These two have been battling it out ever since we've had that safety car. And I think it's going to be extremely close. And you have Kerr in the mix since these guys are battling it out. Polish goes straight to the lead once again. Ferrari Nut in second, and Kerr quickly took over second. And then as quickly as he did, he lost it back to Ferrari Nut. So these three are definitely a 3-man dance for the lead here, and I don't think it's over anytime soon as we quickly have these other drivers approaching all the way back to P5. What a battle we have up here. Fire Hamlin, another penalty. Just adding up. He's got 9 seconds on the board right here. Slurp with 6. And as RC mentioned earlier, Super David's going to have to keep that within that 6 seconds if he wants a top 5 finish. And that gap is starting to increase from him and Slurp. So we'll see if he can maintain that.
Straight away, everyone behind Polish is going to get DRS. Now, Frozen, this is one of those things that I hardly talk about. Track awareness. Where is that DRS line that detects where your drivers are? And if you can get a good stop and let a driver behind you go ahead, you can rob them of that ERS. I just love that strategy. I've done it plenty enough times. But being able to know exactly where your lines are of where DRS detection is going to play a role here, especially going down those straights. If I'm going to have someone like Ferrari beside me, I know where that DRS line is. I'm going to actually use that to my advantage, but it doesn't going to matter because 3-second penalty on Polish.
Yeah, so unfortunate. I mean, this battle is just phenomenal up here. Ferrari Nut back to the lead, and Polish Hammer, he's got himself a 3-second time penalty. Z46 in third, Kerr in fourth, and Slurp. As much as it's great that he's up here with the leaders, he does have a 6 seconds time penalty. Ferrari Nut, though, is starting to increase that gap over the remainder of the field. I'm heartbroken for Polish, though. I think he had a real shot at a win tonight, but that is definitely going to hurt it. Bloomy, 3-second time penalty. A few drivers with 6 seconds. Fire Hamlin with 9, so it is quickly increasing. Then Mayer comes out with a 124.9, fastest lap of the night as he tries to make his way through the field, sitting P16 right now.
So, Frozen, some numbers. The numbers indicate right now Ferrari has the fastest lap, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes.
If he does finish in first place, that will be the end of the Drivers' Championship.
See what happens.
He would come out with 311 points. So right now, Mayer is sitting at 225. So if we gave him the 25 points to win and the additional point for the next 2 races, Frozen, he's only going to wind up at 277. So right here from my math, as long as Ferrari wins this race, we will have our Drivers' Championship.
We still have 2 races left to go, so anything can happen. It's lap 25 of 29, but it is coming down to the wire here. If he holds on to it, he very well could be the championship winner. So this, man, it's crazy. A fantastic race. It has been so incredibly close. Z46 is still looking for his first one, and he's still battling it out with Polish Hammer, his teammate, but he's got a 3-second time penalty, and the stack up for second. Look at all these drivers just battling for it. Absolutely insane to see how this is going to play out. Slurp side by side.
Slurp up there in third. Now how's that going to work with David? He's going to have to push. He's 4 seconds back. So David, he has a chance, but can he do it? It's just, oh man, he gets so close, but yet just cannot get it done.
Slurp in second, but yeah, 6 seconds and penalties, so that is definitely going to hurt his finishing position there. Coming up to, yeah, our next lap is going to be 27 of 29. It's coming down to the wire. Polish sitting P4 with that 3 seconds in time penalty. Z46 in third. So many battles up here. It is just insane. We have J-Mac Attack, who is back here in 13th, just 2 2/10 back from Oh No, It's Shame. So that is another battle that is brewing up right here. JC right behind Maverick. We have a few battles going throughout the field. Mac makes the pass over Shames. He moves up to 12th. Shames in 13th. Here we go, still once again.
This battle between 1 through 5 is a whole lot, a lot of interesting. The only problem is 2 of these drivers have penalties, so that's going to play a factor. So you're looking at 46 and Kerr being your top 3 drivers with Ferrari. So that's the way it looks like it's going to go, unless Slurp can build a 6-second gap from 3rd place, but I doubt it, especially with this many laps to go, unless there's a big catastrophe and we have ourselves another safety car right at the end of the race. But that it's just what it is.
This is one of these races for Slurp where what it could have been without that 6 seconds and penalties. He did come in here and won Vegas and Belgium. He went back-to-back wins. New driver to SnB in the F1 series. He's extremely fast, so it's unfortunate to see this the penalty for tonight for him, but he's obviously got the speed. But Ferrari nut, I mean, he is still out here leading, but just under a second behind is Slurp. Unfortunately, it's not going to matter with that penalty.
Yeah, it's pretty much nothing. It's all for show, really, as long as David is far enough back, which he is, and we're looking at a 6.274. So you're pretty much going to get 5th place. The Polish is going to end up getting 4th. So, I mean, unfortunate that you got penalties, but other than that, you still got a top 5. So, not a total loss, but a loss knowing that you were a really competitive car here at the end.
So true. Kerr, 3-second time penalty. We now have less drivers without penalties than we do drivers with. This is crazy. Fallout says, good racing, everyone. Hope you have a great night. Thanks for coming out and tuning in. John says some drivers are going to be pretty unhappy once the final official times are recorded. It's so true. You know, it's just so unfortunate. You know you have this speed, but those penalties, they'll sneak up on you every single time. And you can see he's just right on the heels of Ferrari nut, but it's not going to matter. He's going to lose several spots. So the driver's behind, yeah. Kerr makes his way past Polish Hammer. The battles up here are just, I don't know that we've had this many cars battling for the top spots as we have here tonight, but a little bit of contact between Kerr and Polish. These two just battling it out, trying to go for everything that they can. Both of them have a 3-second penalty, so it is up for grabs.
Now the question is going to be, can Kerr pass Polish? They both got 3-second penalties, so it's I mean, it's going to be whoever comes in front of the other at this point. And 46 has pretty much got second locked up. So a lot can happen. It's lap 28 of 29. We still got 1 to go. So anything can happen. But I think we've got our top 3. It's just going to depend on what happens with this Williams and this Mercedes back here.
I agree. It's going to be a wild finish to see how this plays out here, but Ferrari, unless something crazy happens, he will be your winner. And is that Polish taking the wide way around there? That, man, gotta watch those penalties. Maddie says fiance came out to support me and I couldn't even race. I hope we get you out here again, Maddie. We'll get you out here and hopefully you will take control and not the AI.
Pass. Can we get it? Kerr almost there. Can't get it done on this straightaway. There's still another one. Now, Polish has the benefit of his teammate being right in front of him, so let's see if that makes a difference. Because it did on the front stretch. Will it make a difference here?
He's got to do it, and he's got to do it right now if he is able to. And it is going to be extremely tight. You know, Polish is going to be aggressive in defending that position as they both have a 3-second time penalty. He really has to defend that fire. Hamlin getting the fastest lap time and 124 there. Extremely fast, but Ferrari Nut, here he comes around the final couple of corners. He will be the winner here at Yas Marina. I do believe his 7th win of the season. Slurp right behind, but it does not matter if only he didn't have those time penalties. Man, oh man, Z46 gets second. We'll see how it rounds out for the 3rd spot here. It looks like Slurp, Polish, Kerr, Sober David in 6th. Great finish for him.
And I know you don't want to call it, but statistics. I love me some statistics. We have a Season 7 Drivers' Champion.
Absolutely crazy. We have Ferrari Nut in here. Wins his 7th race of the season. Let's see if we can get Z in here. These guys are out in Discord and we'll get Slurp. But Ferrari Nut, you saw the start and you had a strong car. A few battles out here for the lead. How was your race and how were the battles?
They were good. I suck here. Just gonna point that out. Literally had a perfect qualifying lap and just nothing bad happened in the race. Just that was the key. I think the safety car probably saved my bacon a little bit. I think Z and Polish may have probably had my number with that, because Polish was going to be way out in the lead, and Z was probably going to jump me if he went in a lap or two ahead of me. And then he was going to be on the hard to the end, whereas I was going to be the medium. Slurp was quick. He just got himself in trouble with the penalties, and then decided he wasn't going to push it at the end unless he could really just make a solid one-go move and get by me. But yeah, I'll take that any day of the week, especially at a track that I'm not particularly fond of.
Yeah, you had a great run, and from what I'm hearing, this does mean that you clinched the championship for this season. So, man, oh man. I know that you said you were not like as confident as you were hoping for tonight, but the speed that you had, it was great, and I know that safety car did kind of shake things up. The battle was so fun to watch, though. Congratulations to you on your 7th win, and apparently another championship here for you. So congratulations out there.
Thank you. Yeah, with this one, it does lock it up. I hate to get it that way with Tim getting just absolutely murked all night by a variety of things. I would have much preferred to just us actually try to battle that out. I think with him up in this bunch of cars, it probably would have been interesting. If he could have won the race and I could have, you know, the rest of the guys could have got around me, then there was a chance it went to the next week. But it is what it is. That's racing. It's happened to both of us this season where stuff happens, so it is what it is.
So true, but you did it tonight. 7th win and a championship to boot. Congratulations. All right, RC, we have second Z46. How about that? Let's give him an interview.
Yes, 46. For someone who didn't have the speed, you definitely showed it out here tonight at the Yas Marina circuit. What do you think about the track and how you performed tonight?
Well, I think I'm going to have to join Ferrari's boat in saying this is one of my least favorite tracks in the entire game. I absolutely cannot stand it, but you know, it is what it is. You got to race at tracks you don't like and something you do. But I tried a different direction in the setup tonight. Obviously, it didn't work. I've been trying a lot of things because I just cannot open a stint to save my life, and I think it's pretty brutally obvious here. But yeah, it's just, you know, trying some new things, trying to make up that ground to Ferrari. I feel like if that safety car hadn't him out, I think I kind of had him dead to rights there, but it would have definitely been a fight for the lead at the end if that safety car hadn't came out.
Well, a great race from you, as we always to expect. Another great finish, another great run from you. We got Austria next, the Red Bull Ring. How are you feeling on that track once we go there next week?
Austria's a pretty solid track. You know, it closes up the field again. So, you know, I think there's going to be, if you guys like the racing here, I think it'll be even better next week at Austria. I mean, it's such a short track. Everyone's going to be right next to each other. So yeah, I think it'll be an exciting one for sure.
All right, it'd be always great to see you out on track, especially for the next week. There's one thing, Frozen, that I keep forgetting about, and that is 6 seconds eliminated by 3 seconds. As I totally forgot that Slurp gets third place due to the fact that the other two drivers got 3-second penalties, and that cut him in half with his 6. So he gets third place. I can't calculate my times today. I don't know, but again, congratulations to Ferrari for clinching that drivers' championship. And Frozen, over to you.
Slurp, he brings it home on podium. Started on the grid in 16th and made it up to 3rd. Unfortunately, had those 6 seconds in time penalty. First of all, how did you go from 16th to driver of the day, making it up to 3rd? Slurp, you got a copy? We'll give him a second. Hopefully he can get his mic working. But man, a great race. It's so unfortunate to see with the 6 seconds and penalties. Like I said earlier, it's one of those things where what could have been if that didn't happen. All right, Slurp, one last time. You got a copy. You guys hear him, or is it just me?
I can't hear.
Yeah, I'll give him a second to. Yeah, I can't hear. Give him a second to try and hop back in here.
All right, we'll give him a second.
Can you hear me now?
I do hear
Yes,
you.
we can
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. I don't know what was happening. Okay. So on lap 1, I got wrecked and had a broken front wing, so I had to pit. So I spent like the first whole stint on softs just alone and sad. But that safety car came out and it helped a lot. But I also got screwed over by myself getting a couple penalties, obviously, and then I just was able to get past a couple cars at the end to get up to, I guess, 3rd. I wasn't gonna challenge Ferrari with the 6 seconds because he had a huge lead and I didn't want to be stupid and kill him or anything, so I was perfectly fine with wherever I finished because I knew it'd be in the top 5, but I got a podium. I didn't expect it, but I did, and I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, you had an uphill battle to climb, so it's great to see that you came home in 3rd. If I were you, I would take it also and be happy with it. But man, the battles that you guys had at the end were just so fun to watch. I gotta ask, what was your favorite battle of the night?
My favorite battle was probably when I was up against Z, Polish, and Kerr at the end, because that was really the only chance I had at battling, because the first stint I was just alone, and then besides that was pretty much the only time I was fighting people on track, but it was fun.
Absolutely. All right, you guys. Well, Ferrari Nut wins his 7th race and a championship. Next week, we will be headed to Austria, so it'll be another fun one. I hope you guys tune in. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We will see you next week. Until then, you guys have a great week.